client, and we are in the very beginning stages of creating an idea and a style for her website. So, what I always have clients do is first send me their references. So, these references can be design styles that they like. They either like scrap images, things like that, but most of the time they are other websites that they've seen and truly love and feel like are close to what they want to create for themselves. So typically I'll look at these references, look at what they've provided, and then we will have a conversation based on that. So in this video, I'm going to go through how I pull out different things from their references based on what's gonna need CSS and development, the style that I'm seeing pull out or that they're referencing the most, and just my overall thoughts so that we can really get clear on what they're looking for within their own website. So, first, this client, she is a photographer. I love her work, and she has amazing images. So, very artsy in the way that she presents them. Truly just like art. They really read as art. They're very colorful. They're just so good to look at, so yummy. Heavy emphasis on the colors that she uses. This is actually her self portraits. And she's worked with some really cool brands like Billboard. She shoots a lot of musicians. She's worked with Pepsi. So, as you can see, she is top notch. She's A1 in her work. So this is the style that she's working with. You can see that some within her own art pieces that she'll incorporate things like borders. She's very specific with how she presents things. Um, like she created these images. It's really like photography, but it's also a work of art. So we want to treat it like that. So these are just some of hers. Let's see if there's other things that we're noticing from hers. Yeah, it's just very color heavy, which is amazing. I personally made a note in here to make this a GIF as like the cover of this gallery because it just is so beautiful. Again, she loves color, which is really fun to work with. This is one of my favorite images that she's taken. It's just like, wow, I wish I was on set for that. So anyways, as you can see, just gorgeous work. So oh, look at this. So like I was saying before, she really presents her images in her own style as well. It's not just the image. Sometimes it's this film style. She'll have a border. She really wants to make sure that you understand her visual reference and her style within her photography. Like this is just artwork. I would get this printed on my wall. Anyways, I get distracted when clients' work is too beautiful. So with that said, those are some of her images. This is one of the references that she sent me. It is another photographer. Obviously, this person has shot a lot of covers as well. Heavy emphasis on the images. I love how big these present because, again, with photography work, you really just want to emphasize the beauty and the world of each image, which I truly, truly love. You can really see into these. They don't pop out, which is fine, but again, they're presented really large so that you can truly just see the images as you scroll. So that's one gallery. You click to the next and you can scroll down as well. So again, her galleries really present as huge images. The main thing about this is that she has a really cool, unique font. It's like this neon pink against this black, which really makes it pop. She kept the navigation font very simple, again, using her branded pink font or color. And then this is the like overall homepage gallery. So these are just the cover for all the galleries that she wants to create, which I love. So again, these are just all the galleries, and you click in to see all the images of each gallery. So this is pretty straightforward. This is something that actually would not take a lot of development, if any at all. The only thing that we would probably have to do if she wanted to go with this style is to upload a custom font that we find, which is fine. Okay, that's a broken link, which is fine. Let's see. About, very simple, about, nothing too crazy, clicks out to the Instagram and then has a very simple, yeah, so the main thing that makes this website look unique is the color and the fonts that she uses. And then she just presented her images in a very large, straightforward way, which I really recommend for all photographers. Like, don't make it complicated. This is another reference that she pulled. This has been like the OG reference for so many of my photography clients. I'm trying to get back to the home page. which it's not letting me do. But this one definitely requires development. So again, I'm thinking about it from a developer standpoint of what are the technical aspects that this is going to take, but then also just the filling. Because sometimes if you can't do all the things development wise, it's more about the filling. I like that it's very clean, it's editorial, there's a lot of space in between each gallery. And then what's cool is that you can click on each gallery, there's this image or this arrow cursor. I love a custom cursor. And then if you want to see more, it pops out once you scroll and it slides to the whole gallery. And then it tells you all the details at the bottom, which I really love. And then you scroll up and it goes back to the main gallery. So this is just A1 in experience. Like, I love this. You can scroll through, want more details, you slide right on in there. So love that. Love that, love that. And then the about is just a page that pops up, very straightforward with typography, like a beautiful typographic layout, basic info, full credits. Like, it's just sleek and beautiful. Then they have an index, so if you want to just see a lot of stuff, you can quickly scroll through, which is really cool. Yeah, it's just beautiful website. So this is one of her references. And the main things I'm noting, because she said that she doesn't really want a lot of development and coding to go within it. And a lot of those things too can add to how much, or it can expand your budget. So if you want something that's really cool and super unique and requires a lot of development, that will increase the budget. But I'm thinking about the main factors of this website that she might be appealing to, which is, again, you're very focused on each image. There's a lot of white space, which is always your friend. There's these sleek little editorial moments of like telling you how many images are in each gallery. Very clean sans serif font. And again, she's more of a color kind of pop person. So the things that I'm thinking of are, if this were her site, it might be a really cool color as the background. And something still clean, but we would find a unique font to use while keeping it clean. So yeah, again, this is just really about the experience of the development. And then this is the one that she mentioned that she loves the most. So with this website, it's kind of like the first one we saw where it's just your images really straightforward and big. The only difference is that these ones don't click out into a gallery, they're more of a pop-up. So when you click it, it just pops out as one image, but you're not clicking through to a whole gallery of this collection. They're doing really cool things like using GIFs. If there are like a grouping of images that they like that go with the same shoot, they are doing really cool overlapping things, so showing the images in different forms. And this isn't a photographer, I believe this is an art director or designer, so they have different types of work naturally. But I like how they're overlapping, again, custom cursor vibes, and then the plus goes when you want to pop out, so that just tells you the title of what it is, which is cool. So they're using different ways to present it. So they're showing their typography like this, they're showing art direction for Allure like this. So again, it really is the same gallery, it's just the way that the gallery is laid out, which is overlapping, it's just a pop out, and they're using, I guess you can technically call it like different mediums to show their work, because their work is naturally in different mediums. Other things design wise that I'm thinking about is the fact that this is also a custom font. We really love large fonts. We like the color combination of the pink, the soft pink in the back, this kind of burnt orangey color, and then this blue cursor. So those things really make it customized, and that's definitely development in terms of the cursor, the custom cursor. This could just be a font that you upload, and then info, this pops out, colors, again, super bright, very simple stuff. So all of that other information is super simple. It's really just this main page experience, and the only development are things like this overlapping. This is just a GIF, which in Squarespace you can upload as an image. So yeah, the only coding you would really need is overlapping for the gallery, which is cool. The rest you can just like upload as a really cool thumbnail. So this image, if we were to click through to the gallery, that would be cool to just create this in Photoshop or something and set that as your thumbnail. So I believe what my client told me is that she likes the overlapping filling. She likes that each image kind of feels different. So it's not just straightforward images like this. There are some play on This one's a collage. Some of them are magazine covers, things like that. She's really going for that fun, really just interactive feeling of a website, even though it's simple. So with a lot of the magazine stuff that she's done, that could easily just be graphic design. It doesn't have to be development. So we can just add her images to the cover of a magazine or an open magazine if it's a layout, things like that, and just add it as the thumbnail, which is really cool. And like I said before, the only development is in this overlapping vibe, and it's also in the custom cursor. So this is probably the one that we're going to go closest to um, while building hers out. And we are going to figure out what she really wants to use art direction style. So like again, when how this is a GIF, I was inspired. Oop, there's a lot of let's just get all the other things out the way. So, like I mentioned before, this is something that I could see playing on as a GIF. Right now on her website, this is her current one right now. I really love this image. I don't know why this wasn't in her folder. I'll talk to her about that too. That's really cool. But she kind of has these ones laid out side by side, which is great. But I also can see them really working beautifully as a GIF. So we'll see. We'll see what she says. So those are my ideas so far when it comes to her images. So as I'm looking through these folders, like I said, this one can be a GIF. Let's look at this one. These ones are more gallery. If it's a magazine, we can probably, and she has a cover for it, we can probably add it to a cover. So this one is a cover. So this one we can kind of probably put on the cover of a mock magazine, just so it feels like that. Let's see, this is another cover. So we might kind of keep it consistent with all covers are just on a stack, and we can play with if they're kind of angling to the left or the right, just to give it some movement so they don't all look exactly the same. But other than that, you know, maybe this is, we do something cool with this collection. It's all Netflix. So yeah, we can figure out, that's where we can work together to come up with ideas. But I think specifically for magazine covers, we can kind of keep the same thing for that. For film, I think these look really cool because again, they can just look like they're regular Polaroids just hanging on the page. So because these are already outlined with her border, we actually don't have to do much. A cool idea would be to create a graphic in Photoshop that stacks them as the thumbnail image, and then you click through and you just see each image individually in the gallery. So that is a cool idea for Polaroids. We might not do that with all of them, but with some of them we might. This is a magazine cover. So with this, because she has two covers, I would ask her to choose which one she likes best. I personally like this one best. I think it's closer to her other work. And we could put this on a mock-up of a magazine cover, and then within the gallery we just show everything else. So let's see what else she has. This one is kind of standalone. I love it. My only thing I'm curious about is if she wants this full black border around it, or if she just wants these to present as strips, because then we can kind of edit that down or crop that down. This is really cool. Yeah. So something like this, I would probably use either this one if it were cropped in, or this one as the thumbnail, just because it's already interesting on its own, and then you click through to the whole gallery. This is really cool. I wish there was a way to make this move, because it feels like movement, so I wish there was a way to give this like a liquid feeling. I'm not really sure. Not really sure. This one would be cool if there was actually an overlay of like static moving on it. So those are things that like I would work with her to see what she feels best represents her images, but these are just initial ideas that I'm getting from what I'm looking at. Again, I'm thinking like these could be moving, but I'm not going to get all into that. This is the Vogue cover, or I don't know if it's a cover, but it's a Vogue feature. So we could easily just use these as, that's a really cool picture. I like this as like the cover thumbnail. And then let's see what else we have. This is really cool. Kaleidoscope vibes. Beautiful. So the thing is, because there's a lot of cool things you could do, like you could take it very far and just do every image that, like, this could be a kaleidoscope moving, things like that. But again, I'm thinking about budget. I'm thinking about um, also the fact that you don't want too many things moving on the page because then it could just feel messy more than it feels cool. So you also want to be mindful of like what you're picking and choosing to add movement to add design to. So something like this is I would talk to her to figure out what one, if there's a specific order that she wants to go into. Order doesn't really matter ultimately because once you upload them into each gallery, you can easily move them around within Squarespace. But if there are galleries that she really loves or specifically has ideas for, I would choose. I have to see how many galleries there are. There are quite a few galleries here. Um, but we would just see which ones we could add movement or cool things to look like. Throw it all into the website and move it around just to see what the order feels and looks like. Because again, you don't want everything to be moving, everything to be different because it just will feel more chaotic versus an experience. So that's where you really get into the art directing vibe of everything. Let's see. So yeah, these are her images, her final selects. And the main questions that I'm going to ask next are if she has any preferences, if she wants a color background, which I really think that she does, because if she has color, then that will also make me think about how busy each thumbnail is going to feel or be. If it's white, we can have maybe even a little bit more fun with the thumbnails, but it might take away from that feeling of just being in color when you land on the website. I'm gonna ask her for her brand fonts, like maybe three core colors that she really, I said fonts, but I meant colors. Three core colors that she really feels represents her brand. They could easily be this pink and this deep red in here, but I want to make sure, I don't want to assume. I'm going to ask her if there are any font styles that she gravitates to, so I'll probably send her examples of very different fonts that we can start guiding her eye. Because as we said before, this is like a very unique, tall, thin sans serif font. Um, these are like very basic, clean, more editorial style. And then for this one, this is more of an outlined font. So it's still very clean, but it's outlined. So I'm going to ask her if she gravitates towards any typographic styles on her own, just to get a taste of her style. I'm going to ask her again what kind of um, effects, if she's thinking of any ideas, because I just showed you mine, but she might have different ideas for her images. And then what she's willing to have or go without, because again, we can have fun and do the most, but we also want to make sure that we are sticking within the budget. So that's the phase that we're at right now. I'm just going to ask her some more clarifying questions now that we have these references. Her and I have also talked, so I know that she's leaning toward this style more. So the next phase will really just be solidifying fonts and colors and um, start getting into the layout. So that's really about it. Yeah, and I'm happy to share my process. All right, see you next time.